And some breaking news from a week ago in right now. Movie theatre ceiling collapses in Washington during Captain America Brave New World. 2 people were in attendance and there was no injuries.
Oh, thank God for that. Thank God for that. I like to think it was just Anthony Mackie and Danny Ramirez sat there doing a press junket, watching their own film back.
The headlines on this story have been absolutely slating, featuring the fact that the fact that this film's lack of popularity and poor box office performance is actually a godsend because it meant that no one was injured in the collapsing of a cinema.
I mean, that's one way to look at it, I suppose.
There's probably more people in attendance for Dogman or something. Apparently it's done quite well.
Well, that would be a travesty. Imagine if the ceiling fell through on Dogman. It'd be just loads of kids crushed like you've stepped on a pack of quavers. It'd be dreadful. Hello and welcome to Moving Up Podcast with your hosts, me, Adam Barlow.
And your other host, me, Alfie Walker.
Alfie, we are, I think, both fighting for our lives here. It's like every other episode. We may have done getting on 60 episodes now, but I would say half of them include at least one of us being ill. I'm on death's door today. My health is just oscillating between, unwell and really damn poorly, like I'm Jeff Goldblum's hips. It's ridiculous.
I'm quite lucky, right? I don't really get spots, but I'm at a point in my health where I've actually got a spot on my forehead and on my nose. So that is proof to me that I am currently not in a good physical place. I think Sunday has caught up with me. We'll be talking about that in a moment. But yeah, I'm struggling. Adam's juggling about 7 jobs. I'm juggling a job, a new job that's about to happen, and a house renovation. So we're tired, if we're honest, guys. So brace yourselves for a really dour episode of the podcast.
No, I think it's going to be like Stockholm Syndrome. We always have this when we're recording. We'll start off maybe a bit low energy, maybe a bit unsure. We're not quite set in stone about where we're going to go in this episode, but actually we always end up having a riot. So I think we should keep our spirits high.
We do. We're going to be talking about the Oscars 2025's Academy Awards happened. We were up all night watching it. So we're going to be talking a bit about our time doing that and the results, if we're happy. Sneak preview, we're not. And then we've also got a big question. So a nice little shorter episode today. But yeah, we're going to be talking some good stuff.
Absolutely. Let's get started then with just explaining, for those that didn't tune in or didn't see our Instagram stuff over the weekend, we booked out a screening room in Weymouth House on the BU Talbot campus, and we invited a friend of the show, Josh Brooker, over as well from the Isle of Wight. So he made the long old trek. Yeah,
thank you, Josh. Really appreciate that. We did say it on the day, but obviously we were tired and you had to run for a bus, but really appreciate you coming over. It was lovely to see you. That's the first time I've properly spoken to Josh Brooker in person.
Yeah, you've heard just rumours of the man, haven't you?
Yeah, just mere whisperings across the channel between the Isle of Wight and Portsmouth. Theoretically, I live closer to Josh Brooker than I live to you, which is kind of wild.
That's true, yeah.
but
you're basically neighbours.
Yeah, so Josh came over. Thank you very much. That was excellent. And yeah, we booked out a screening room and we went live on TikTok for the very first time. We had in total quite a lot of viewers. The average was about sort of 11 people all night, which honestly, I'm alright with that. 11 strangers watching. And at one point we had up to about 20.
Weirdos, actually.
Yeah, little freaks. What are you doing? Actually, don't answer that.
Someone did ask us to I won't say it. Yeah, to debate maths, and I thought, well, I'm not any good at arithmetic. Turns out I'm not any good at social cues either, because they were making a dirty, smutty joke that I didn't quite get.
Anyway, and we did have another guy tune in and say he was having a good old chat with us, and he called Josh Brooker Jesus, me, a Viking, and Adam, a Durham Uni student. So that made us laugh. He was good company. And then we had another guy as well who was in for ages, just chatting about our favourite films, horror films, favourite film of the year, the Oscars. So it was really good, actually. We had a fair bit of sort of back and forth and rapport with people.
Yeah, it was nice. Yeah, absolutely. I think we'll do it again at some point. I don't know what occasion we'll call for it, but maybe we'll just FaceTime while we're record. Oh no, we can't go live while we're recording. Maybe we could. If we get an iPad set up, it'd be fun to show the behind the scenes.
Yeah,
maybe.
Absolutely. So we were thinking about this, weren't we? Like, if we Adam can go live on the Movie and Up account, and I can potentially go live just from my own personal TikTok, and then we can potentially start doing some lives and just chatting about film on live with people, maybe put a bit of effort into it and sort of see where it takes us, because I really enjoyed it, and it was a good time, and we did have some peaks of viewers as well, so it was lovely.
Yeah, it was very much a good decision on, I think, your part. Actually, you said go live on TikTok.
I'll take full credit, thank you.
Yeah. I've got this chart in front of me that I think might be quite a good conversation starter. It's from Statista. Does it say where specifically? Let me see. Show source. God, so I can write your dissertation again. Oh no, you've got to register. Well, screw that. This is from an anonymous source then, I guess. It's not even really sensitive information, but anyway. This is the number of television viewers of the Academy Awards ceremonies from 2000 to 2025 in millions. So, for reference, it didn't peak, but in 2000, it was 46.33. Since then, it's never reached that height since. I don't know what it was before. It kind of has fluctuated a bit. Had 43.7 in, when's that? 2014. Yeah, then was sort of a steady decrease after that. 2019, it was 29.6 million. In 2021, it was atrocious. In fairness, there were like 3 films that came out in 2020, so that's not really a surprise. But it dipped to 10.4 million,
Jesus.
which is kind of, that's dreadful. And it's been on it really jumped up again to in 2022. Was that the year with the slap? I think it might have been.
Yeah, I think it was.
And then it's sort of gradually leveled off with 2025 having 19.7 million. That's a increase from last year's 19.5, but yeah, it's not looking massively healthy in terms of viewership.
Yeah, right. When Conan was on, he said, "This is 1 billion people are watching this around the globe." I was like, "What? What does that mean?"
Yeah. How does that work then? Is that 1 billion people will watch it on the news the following day and will hear about it on the radio? Because that's not really by choice, is it?
Yeah, weird. But should we start with Conan while we're here? We might as well, right? How do you think his hosting went?
I think he did a pretty stellar job, actually. I thought last year Jimmy Kimmel did decently, especially with Barbenheimer. He had a lot of material to draw from in his defence, really. But I'm a big fan of Conan. I listen to his podcast. It's nowhere near as good as this one, of course, but it's, he's trying, bless him, and he gets some guests on, like Amy Poehler and Jeff Goldblum, some smaller actors.
Yeah, we've got Josh
little.
Brooker.
His mates. Yeah, exactly. We all know who I'd rather listen to. Jeff Goldblum. Yeah, but he's great. His show's really good. His chat show's excellent. You were saying you'd like to see Graham Norton host it one year.
Yeah, well, not even, I guess not in the American side, they'd never do that, but the British side with Jonathan fucking Ross and, well, yeah, let me say, yeah, I really enjoyed Conan's hosting.
I blocked that from my memory, that half of it.
I didn't like Kimmel last year, and I don't usually find the jokes funny, but there were plenty of jokes this year that I found actively funny. I laughed. The only one that I think didn't really hit was the "I'm wasting time" singing song number.
Well, you say that, but I was singing it yesterday to myself on repeat, and everyone didn't like it that was around me, but I liked it. I had fun.
I think that's the only bit that didn't really work for me. Because I get that was the joke, but then I find it sort of heartbreaking when then some award winner gets 30 seconds to speak. But I mean, Adrian Brody could have cut down his speech, really, couldn't he? But no, I thought Conan was great, and I'd be happy seeing him again. But in classic form from last year, the ITV coverage that we throw to every time we go to an ad break in America, we had Jonathan Ross We had Jason Isaacs for all of 45 minutes. We had, and then we had two ladies who, quite frankly, were. Jonathan Ross was horrible. These two ladies, particularly the woman with the bob, were abysmal. Absolutely fucking awful.
Goodness.
Why on earth? Everyone's of this opinion. I was looking on Twitter earlier. Why on earth do you have an award show and you get one guest who can't stay for longer than an hour? The host hasn't seen most of the films, and the ones he has seen, he's got pretty brash opinions. And then two women, like journalists, who also hate film. What the fuck? Like, how is that your coverage? I thought it was abysmal, and it was really a sad affair. And I really, really hope Jonathan Ross is not there next year.
Yeah, you know, I think the vibe they go for is maybe a poor man's Eurovision, because I know Graham Norton hosted that sometimes. I don't know if he still does it, but that is fun and it's playful, but that is regarded as a really camp and silly, dumb contest, right? It has its moments, but for the most part, it's not trying to be high art or anything.
Yeah.
And I know the Oscars sort of got knocked down, and that's the reason for its decline, really. It got political, and actors started giving speeches like Adrian Brody's that were preaching to people that he can't really relate to at all. And that's kind of, you know, that's the downfall of the Oscars, right? But the last couple of years, at least, or since the slap, they've really, I think, tried to be better. And I don't know if they're there yet.
Really celebrate it, yeah.
And I know we didn't have a front runner or a favourite film to win Best Picture, but we're still excited to see the results. And I think by having Jonathan Ross, who I guess they must have been briefed to be like, look, no one really watches this, not compared to the viewership that we used to have, so take the piss out of it, and we know it's cringy, so just lay on it. But I'm like, talk about beating a dead horse, right? It's really disheartening when you have a show that, yeah, it's not perfect by any means, and there are jokes that fall flat. I didn't think the Sand one was that funny, but it's trying, and I think Conan O'Brien's a really earnest and talented host that was doing his best. I think some of the awards that won were meaningful and do show an optimistic future for cinema, like Sean Baker winning. I don't know if I loved ANORA that much, but I'm glad he won. It was a very independent film, and it celebrates smaller artists, right? And that's good in itself, sort of inherently. But to cut back to Jonathan Ross going like, well, did I like ANORA? Well, I'm not too sure.
Yeah, I haven't seen it.
Yeah. Come on, mate. Like, I'm sure Jonathan Ross is lovely and, well, I don't know this actually. I'm sure he's okay in real life, but I've not been a fan of him this year or last year, and having listened to his film podcast between then and now, I'm not sure there is a side of his film criticism that I really want to hear.
I think that it should be a prerequisite of being the UK host almost. He was on the screen a fair bit because the ad breaks in America are quite long. You should have to watch every film. You really should.
Yeah.
You should have to watch every film, or at least every big film. All right, maybe documentaries and shorts. Well, shorts even more so, I guess. But yeah, you should have to watch all these films. And every time they threw to him, he was like, well, I haven't seen this, but I've heard this is quite good. And then, yeah, the woman with the bob was like slagging off The Substance left, right, and slagging off ANORA. And I just thought it was so... Yeah, I was not a fan at all. I think they need to really reassess what they're doing. And I think, yeah, I mean, we said ourselves, didn't you? You should put someone like Ali Plum in there, but he doesn't have the star power of Jonathan Ross. But then would Ali Plum bring a new audience potentially? Yeah, maybe so. I think Ali Plum should at least be a guest on there to talk, if not the host.
Or, and I know maybe it's a bit small fry considering it's not in front of a huge audience or anything, but David Tennant does an excellent job hosting the BAFTAs. I'm not saying get him in necessarily, but Richard E. Grant did it a couple of years ago, the BAFTAs I'm talking about. I think that man would love... I mean, it looked like a class evening. They'd up the studio, to be fair to them, and it looked cozy. I don't know who any of the audience members were. I would have liked it if they'd done polls or something, or got them to say stuff.
They were just sat there, weren't they? They were just sat there
drinking
looking
wine.
glum. Yeah.
Yeah. It kind of summarised the whole evening. It was a real, even if you were excited about who was winning, to cut back to that every 10 minutes was a real, like, just kick in the face, I thought.
Yeah. The lady with the bob was abysmal. I thought she was really just... And I mean, I'm a big fan of Jason Isaacs, but why on earth would you get a celebrity on your panel, an actor, who can't stay for the full show for a start? Okay, that aside, he was so, like, anti-Oscars, which is just so weird.
Yeah, oh God, yeah.
He was, like, saying how they should change everything about it. He doesn't like award ceremonies. Like, why on earth have you got this man on it? Like, I really like him. I think he's a great actor, and everything he's in, I'm always a huge fan of. The White Lotus season 3, A Death of Stalin, he's excellent in that. Like, I think he's a really good actor, but it's such a weird choice to have him on there for an hour. Then he disappears, and in that hour he was there, he just slagged it off.
Yeah, you're right. It was totally out of the blue as well. Like, we get it. Like, it's the unspoken thing. You don't need to be quite so overt about it, really.
They're
because
trying, aren't they? Now?
Anything he said has been said 100 times by angry people on Reddit and on Twitter and whatever. Yeah. I'm like, I don't
for the
need
past
to
97 years. Yeah, literally. Like, you're not the first person to say that the Oscars are a bit stale, Jason Isaacs. Like, everyone
like it was a hot take.
Yeah, it's just...
I've seen debates in Parliament that were less polemic than the English coverage of the Oscars this year. It was really bizarre.
Yeah, I really think they need to up their game next year. Something that also is worth mentioning is that it was streamed on Hulu in America and throughout other bits of the world, and that crashed apparently and didn't show at all. So that's why we had people coming in on our stream saying, "Are you going to show the TV?" Right. Which we weren't able to do because we'd never streamed before, so we couldn't duet, which is really annoying, and I wish I'd checked that before. But because if we had, I could have just screen shared from the website, and we could have shown the Oscars and had our commentary at the same time. And I think we would have got some more viewers. But that aside, we had people in our comment section being like, "Can you show the screen, please? Hulu's down." I had that about 4 or 5 times. So, yeah, kind of mad that this one big moment of the year, Hulu are responsible for streaming it, and they can't even do that.
It's a shame. It is a shame, but let's hope next year is a bit better. Talking about the Oscars themselves, though, and the 97th Academy Awards, I guess the biggest headline of the night was Sean Baker winning 4 Oscars in one night for one film, which I think is the first time that's ever happened. I think it was close to a record set by Walt Disney, but I think he won that amount of Oscars for different films or something. It's not quite the same title, but yeah, Sean Baker seems like a very intelligent and fun guy to speak to. He gave some great speeches. One celebrating cinema.
Well. He seemed quite fairly humble, which is ironic with Adrian Brody's opposite of humble speech. I thought it seemed really good. But so does that mean ANORA won 5 in total, didn't it? And Sean Baker won 4 of those, because Mikey Madison obviously won 1 as well.
Yeah, let's break it down. So Sean got, I guess, Best Picture,
Best Editing,
Best Director, and what was the other one?
Was it like? I've got it here.
Best Original Screenplay. That was it.
Yeah, that's the one. I definitely don't think it should have won that. I think
it's got a huge amount of F-bombs in it. Like, I don't really know how much substance there is around it, but yeah, interesting. I do need to rewatch it with the hindsight of it winning Best Picture now. I need to go and see it again and see how I really feel about it, because I do remember liking it, and actually I went back, listened to our old episodes of the reviews of the Best Picture nominees, and I was pretty positive about it. So I don't know what's happened between then and now to make me feel a little less.
I just don't think it's Best Picture worthy. Yeah. That's my issue. I enjoyed it when I caught it in the end, but I didn't watch it and go, damn, that's a 5-time Oscar winner. That I just really I don't think it was that phenomenal. And of all of those, I get it for editing and stuff like that, and Best Picture, fair enough. And I get Mikey Madison, as much as I am gutted for Demi Moore, absolutely like heartbroken for her. That must have been horrible. You could see it on her face. Like, she obviously was being happy for Mikey Madison, but you could see she was like knife in the shoulder blades for her, bless. But I really don't think it should have won the screenplay award. I think of all of them, that's the one where I just don't get why it won that at all.
Yeah. What else was in that category? I'm trying to think.
So Brutalist, Real Pain, September 5, and Substance. I think. I haven't seen two of those. Yeah, my bad. But
I'd give it to a Real Pain. I think out of those 5.
I think original. You think what that means? I think Substance should have won that, and I am a big fan of it, so I'm obviously going to say that. But people have been singing a Real Pain's praises for the script big time, and I think a lot of people thought Jesse Eisenberg would win that, but no. Obviously, Adrian Brody won for The Brutalist for actor in a leading role. I was really in favour of him winning it until I sort of got to the ceremony itself when we were watching it, and I was reflecting on the other performances, and then his speech cemented that I wish someone else had won it. I really do. I think his speech was horrible. I don't think it was meant to be, really. When he was turn that music off. I've won this before. I know how it works. Oh my god, man, read the room.
Yeah,
I thought it was abysmal, and I don't think he meant it in that bad of a way. But it doesn't matter how you mean it, does it? It's how it comes off, and it came off bad.
Yeah.
I really hope Coleman Domingo gets nominated next year, because I'd love for him to get it again and win.
Yeah, goodness, yeah.
Bless him. He's always dressed to the absolute stars, that man. He looked amazing. I thought Timothée Chalamet looked good as well. The only people wearing colour in that room, weren't they?
Yeah, they were. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, ketchup and mustard.
And I feel sad for Ralph Fiennes, Sebastian Stan, Coleman Domingo, Timothée Chalamet. I think they've all got potential to go on and win one, potentially other than Ralph Fiennes. I think maybe he might not get another big Oscar role now, but nonetheless, Adrian Brody's performance was good, and he won it, didn't he?
Yeah, it is what it is. Actress in a leading role, we've already kind of alluded to this, but yeah, Mikey Madison for Anora swept it from under the grasp of Demi Moore, who I think most people were expecting to win. So that was a bit of a plot twist, I guess, in the Oscars race. Actor in a supporting role, that was the opposite of a plot twist. This was the most set in stone award of the night, I think. Yeah. Kieran Culkin in A Real Pain, very well deserved. I think Yuri Borisov being there was a bit silly, just from having seen Anora and knowing that he doesn't really do much. Good place in the story, but I don't think he. Yeah, I would have been really shocked if he came out of nowhere and just took an Oscar home. I was like, okay, that's weird. So yeah, Edward Norton obviously kind of just there because he's Edward Norton, really. Same with Guy Pearce, I'd say. And Jeremy Strong, I thought he was okay in The Apprentice. I know he's very serious, and he's definitely a thoughtful actor, but I can't help but think he was a bit one note in the film. But then he's not. The script doesn't really require him to be anything else than that. You haven't seen The Apprentice yet, have you? But
no, still haven't seen it. I've seen clips of him on the run.
Roy Cohn is just a very what's the word? Kind of monotone guy. So I guess in that respect he plays it very well, but it's not the most exciting character to watch, I suppose.
Yeah, I think he's quite committed to the craft. So I can imagine him going on and getting supporting actor another year or lead actor another year, kind of thing. And then the other one I don't think it surprised anyone was Zoe Saldana winning for actress in a supporting role. I think we should all just view this as a legacy award rather than actually winning for Emilia Perez. And I think that's exactly what it is, if I'm honest. But no shocks there at all.
Animated feature film was won by Flow, the Latvian animation about a cat. It looks really cute. I like the art style. I don't think you're quite as hot on it, are you?
No, I think it was made in Blender, and then rendered in Eevee, which are both really bog standard computer programs, basically. So it's a phenomenal achievement to win an Oscar for making a full film on that. but I can't help but feel the animation looks like a video game cutscene. I haven't seen it, and it's not out in the UK yet, so I will go see it when it's out. But yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of what I've seen so far, but I'm more than looking to be proven wrong kind of thing when I actually watch it.
Yeah, it's like Josh said in his email, I think a couple of weeks ago now. But in that category, I do think Wallace and Gromit: Vengeance Most Foul is the least interesting and maybe my least favourite. I'm yet to see Memoir of a Snail, but I thought Inside Out 2, it was back in June now, but I thought it was bloody excellent, that film. And The Wild Robot, again, one of the best animated films I've seen in years. So it's a very strong category. So I'm hoping Flow doesn't disappoint when I do get around to seeing it. I guess the final thing to mention is Dune Part 2 did pick up, I think, just a couple of awards in the categories of, what would it have been? Visual effects and... what was the other one?
Score as well.
No, I think Brutalist got score. What was the other? Not production design. That was Wicked. As was costume design. Sound. That was it. Yes.
Yeah. That I wasn't shocked at many of those. I was shocked at ANORA getting so many. Yeah. But overall, it wasn't a shocking night. I don't think at all, was it? Some things I do want to mention just before we continue, some weird moments from the evening that we've missed over. Conan O'Brien's dig at Carla Sofia Gascon was phenomenal with the publicist joke, and I'm so glad they went there and brought it up, and she was in the audience watching, which is even better.
And looks thankful just to be mentioned, so she must have been shunned like anything before that night.
And then when the Amelia Perez writers of the best song started singing on stage, insane, and the cringiest thing I've ever seen.
Emilia.
And then the orchestra start playing to like get them off the stage, but instead they start singing to the tune of the orchestra. Like, absolutely insane.
Yeah, that was tough. That was a tough watch.
Conan's joke about Drake being a paedophile was also incredibly funny. And yeah, they probably went for it, so quite impressed there. And what else was I going to say? Oh, the fact that they played that specific song for the In Memoriam section.
Oh yeah. That was bizarre.
Like, I get that is a funeral march song. I get that that's the whole point of that. It's like a requiem. But my God, it sounded so sinister. It was like they were showing who they're sacrificing this year or something. Like,
yeah. The comments on Twitter and on TikTok were great about that. One person was like, it was just 5 minutes of "you're next."
Yeah, it's spot on.
Yeah, or it was like, "look who's being risen from the dead this year," like that kind of. Yeah, it was very strange.
No, but overall, I don't think there was any huge surprises on the night. And if anyone is listening who did tune in to our TikTok live, we really appreciate it. We did have a few friendly faces that we know listen pop in and out, so just want to say thank you a lot for doing that. Good
night for one and all.
I was shattered, mate. I ended up going to bed at 5 a.m, which is killer. Like, I went to sleep at 5, woke up at 11:30, had half an hour to get out the Premier Inn hotel room, and then felt like dreadful. It was worth it though. It was good fun, and we're hopefully going to do it again next year. Thank you for listening today. I think we're going to finish off on a big question.
What was that, Alfie?
I think we're gonna finish on a big question.
May I have a little go?
Go on, give it a go, Adam. See if you can get the right vibrato on it.
Okay. It's tougher than it sounds. Big question.
That one's gonna sound great when I amp that up in the editing suite. What is this week's big question, Adam?
Oh God, what was it? It's this. Would you rather take the substance from the substance, or would you rather drink the water of life from Dune Part 2?
Ooh, that's a really good one.
Both of them make you convulse on the floor, so it's just what you'd rather. Do you prefer blue or green, really?
What did the water of life result in Dune Part 2? I can't even remember. It was just to test that he was Lisan al-Gaib, wasn't it? Like,
It let you. No, it gave you like the power to speak loudly. It gave you the power to get blue eyes.
Damn.
What else? I think. Oh yeah, you could speak to your unborn siblings. That was it.
Yeah, you can speak to Anna Taylor-Joy. Oh my god, I need that power.
Yeah. So I think it's fairly obvious which one I'm going for. The substance just doesn't look fun. I really don't know why she didn't terminate it before.
Respect the balance.
Oh, speaking of the substance, that cold open that they did in the Oscars with Conan O'Brien losing his shoe in the back of Demi Moore. Yeah. Brilliant.
We were creased up, weren't we? After we sat there watching, we were howling with laughter at that. That was an excellent introduction.
Yeah. That was it was gross as anything, but really, on the money. Very, very good fun.
Overall, it's been an incredibly fun time covering the Oscars. And really appreciate anyone who's listened to a podcast, tuned into the live, supported us in any way. Has been really good. And the finishing of it is always a bit depressing because obviously there's no film this week for us to watch. I think, what is the next thing that's coming out? Is it Mickey 17?
Yeah, and Danny Dyer's masterpiece, Marching Powder.
And Snow White.
God, no, that's not this week, is it?
I think no, that's next week. I think it's next week. I think it's like 13th or something.
That'd be grand though, because I just realised Snow White and Marching Powder could easily get confused, couldn't they? That's got to be.
To see that.
That sounds like a big question to me.
Would you rather spend the day with Snow White or spend the day with Danny Dyer?
Ooh, perish the thought.
Thank you for listening today. Please email in. And let us know your thoughts on the winners, what films you're looking forward to this year, maybe what you think is going to win the Oscars next year, any bets on what films are going to be causing a fuss this time next year. You can email in hello@movieonup.com.
Yes, you can also go to our Instagram and TikTok. Have a look at our TikToks we made on the night. Actually, they were a good laugh.
Yes.
But our handles for both of them are @MovieOnUp.
Once again, thank you for listening. Cheers for chatting, Adam. It's always good.
Yeah, always a chore, never a pleasure.
Catch you next time.